Hello there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Shan, and this is Shan Plays. This is part 2 of my little castle building series. In this part, we're going to just be furnishing the inside. And so at first, what I'm doing here is just placing some stairs, making sure that they're going to actually work, because I want the Sims to be able to actually access that tower. So I'm just trying to make sure everything can fit, and then later on when I move to that, I'll arrange it in a way that makes the most sense for how I want the room to work. The building that I'm in right now, the main part of the castle, is where the vast majority of this video takes place. Sorry, I have like a little congestion and I don't know why, because I've been fine all day, but it decided to just show up now. So cool. So I really wanted to have the kitchen over there, and I had this vision for like one of those old giant fireplaces that's like built into the wall, almost like a pizza oven kind of deal. And I actually put a a chimney over in that area for that reason. And so I was trying to make it work, and I ended up not going with that original plan. I actually work on building this whole kitchen over here, and I did really like how it looked. It looked super cool, but I ended up having to move it entirely. And so everything I'm doing right now, like, I'm just struggling so hard, and I'm gonna redo it. So the good thing was that I did figure out like the color scheme and all the cabinets and everything that I wanted before I moved it over. But yeah, while I'm doing that, I wanted to tell you guys about what I did the day before yesterday. Anyway, I was really happy with it. So like, I colored my mom's hair, and her hair is blonde, and it was like too blonde. She wanted it to be more more dimensional. And so I don't know if you guys watch Brad Mondo, but he's a hair YouTuber. Anyway, he did this tutorial about like turn a $100 wig into a $1,000 wig, something like that. And anyway, I followed that tutorial. I did my mom's hair, and because we're staying home, I had to use hair color we already had, so I didn't get to use what he suggested, but it worked great anyway. I was so pleased. I don't think it looks like at-home hair color. It's just kind of like still very blonde, very ashy, but it's got little streaks throughout it, little low lights. It's very pretty. It looks really natural, and I was just really proud of myself, so I wanted to brag. Here I'm still trying to figure out how to make this island work. I really wanted to have a double island. I thought that would be so cute. And I think it looks great. I kind of thought about having the farm sink, but it just really didn't match the cabinets, unfortunately. But let's see. Oh yeah, I really thought it would be fun to have like some of the appliances you don't usually get to have in a Sims kitchen, because it's a little fancier. So we got the tea maker, we got the coffee machine. I know those are really obnoxious in gameplay, but sometimes it's fun for your Sims to be obnoxious, and if it really does bother you, you can always just delete it. No big deal. This build, besides being a struggle to figure out like the floor plan, it was also so hard getting things to match, right? Because for the doors and the windows, I used black, and then I brought in that kind of rich reddish brown with the counters, and there's a lot of various shades of brown, and notoriously nothing ever matches. So I had fun doing that. I thought it would be really cool to have like a breakfast nook over there, except when you live in a castle, your breakfast nook is bigger than a lot of people's actual dining areas. Just because like those windows are so pretty, and if I had a little area like that in my house, I would want to have it be somewhere that I spent lots of time. I was trying to figure out how to make the room shape work though, because that is such a strange shaped room with the tower there. I kind of gave up. I thought, I'll come back to it, and I started working on the formal dining room. So again, I thought it would be really cool to kind of push 2 tables together and have like a huge table, because I've seen people do that before, but I've never had a build where it worked. And you know what? Spoiler alert, I continue not to have a build where it works because I end up changing that. Kind of because I realized I was running out of room for a staircase. I don't realize it yet, but I'll get there. I thought, maybe with all the weird diagonals, I should just try to make this giant island diagonal and it would fit better. So I really, worked hard getting that lined up exactly right. Just, seeing how it looked, and I kind of like how it looked. I couldn't decide if I liked it or not. I'm like, does it look good? Does it look weird? I don't know. Then I decided that I randomly needed to have a piano because I'm like, this house is fancy. We need a piano. So I put it in there, and I still at this point needed to get a living room as well and a staircase. So I'm just resituating everything because obviously it wasn't fitting correctly. Sorry, it's like really windy right now. I love that fridge that came with, I think it came with Jungle Adventure. I actually used quite a bit of Jungle Adventure in this build, which is kind of interesting since it's not very jungly. But just like the stone on the castle worked so well for it. I just cannot stand the trash cans. They're such an awkward size, and the way they place whenever you don't alt place them is so strange. I just kind of sometimes wonder why the Sims team made things the way they did. I mean, it's fine, it works, it's just not how I would have thought to do it. And the kitchen where it is now is actually where it ends up. So we're getting closer to how it ends up looking, the finished product, so to speak. I decided then that maybe it would be better to have the dining room over in this other side where I was originally going to try to put the living room, just because putting it in that little narrow space on the other side, it just felt too compact, because like too I can't think of the right word I want. I'm like too wedged, too compressed. Yeah, it was like just too small. And I have some really big doors I use. I believe they're 3 tile wide doors. And so I didn't want anything too close to them, because how weird would it be if you open like a huge enormous door and immediately there's like a dining chair when you open the door? Like, that's just odd. So I was trying to make it where it would work good like walking around. If you walk through the door, you wouldn't just run into a table and have to track around the table. I wanted to have like a walkway that made sense. I tried adding the fireplace back in because I was pretty determined to have a fireplace. So I thought, that would look really cool and impressive to have a fireplace in the dining room. So that's where it is right now. Then I just started messing around with the stairs again because I finally remembered I needed them. I mess around getting with the L shape a lot because I realized that I could have that back wall I just placed against the stairs, and then it would make the rooms into more easily usable spaces. I didn't want to have crazy diagonal walls everywhere, so at this point I'm just trying to fit things in to where the walls are like more sensical. I end up doing a little hallway over here, and then I thought it would be cool to have a hall closet, like whenever your fancy guests arrive at your castle to eat the formal dining room, they might like a place to hang their overcoats, all their furs or whatever, their designer faux furs. So I end up making this little entry area. It's not a mud room, it's too fancy for that, but it's an entry. Then I decided that the fireplace in the dining room might be better off as a bar. I was kind of thinking about having the piano and bar lounge across the hall over there, and I might still do something like that. But I really thought it would be nice to have a bar in the dining room and just make that space a little bit more usable. Here I'm adding in a bathroom. It's just a half bath, so no shower or tub, but I actually really love how it turned out. I struggled so hard with it though, just because it's a small space and there's pillars everywhere. I was having a lot of trouble placing items part of the time, and I ended up getting it to work, but I had to delete some walls to do it. It was kind of obnoxious. I thought about putting a mirror here at first, but then I remembered there was going to be a mirror above the sink, and it seemed a little redundant. So I didn't go with that after all. I really wanted this bathroom to feel kind of like a very nice hotel bathroom. So, you know, if your guests go in there, they're going to have lots of, you know, different lotions, and make sure they have plenty of towels. And I just wanted it to seem like a nice experience. So I really worked on getting the decor here a little bit more cluttered, a little bit more full than I usually do in a bathroom, especially a guest bathroom. For this one, I just thought it would be fun. There's no windows in there, but there's those candles, so that's cool. I don't know. I don't feel like you need to have a window in a bathroom always. It's nice because they can get kind of stuffy. However, if you know, you have an awkward corner that you don't really want anything else in, yeah, you know, just stuff a bathroom in there. Oh man, it was such a pain though. And then I was like, wait, most people are right-handed, but then I had that soap. I have like 2 soaps going on. There's a lot going on for such a small space. I was also really pleased with that little toilet nook. Here's the mailbox, because I didn't place one, so that's where it ended up. Yeah, you get to see, you can really see all the clutter now. I don't know, I just really enjoy cluttering things up. It's very relaxing. Okay, here's where my real trouble starts. So I find this painting I want to use. I sized it down so that it would fit, and then I tried to place it, and it wouldn't place on that wall. It would place like everywhere else, but not on that wall. So I'm just like messing around trying everything to get it on there. And you can see I have one that's like on the archway, and what ended up happening was they kind of like glitched on the wall, and they were just like stacked all over each other on that other wall, and I had to get rid of them. It's very strange. Anyway, I ended up just like placing a wall and putting the painting on it and then moving it because I couldn't get into that awkward space any other way. I also really liked having that little archway that goes into the toilet area. I think it just looks more finished like that. I suddenly remembered I could move that door, which was great because it had really been getting in the way. I kind of got back on my island shtick. I don't know. I still really want to have a big island in the kitchen, so I'm trying to make it work again. I really like kitchens that are kind of closed off by having a like island seating around it, so it's kind of like its own room because it has that enclosure with the island like I'm doing here. However, it's not fully, you know, separated from other spaces. At this point I realized it would probably just work better to put my big island right there and not have it attached, just so the Sims could walk around easier, because it's such a big house anyway. It's going to take them forever to get anywhere. Might as well not block them off. I tried chairs. They looked like ridiculous. It was kind of hilarious how bad they looked. So that's just you know, you can't sit at that island, but I think it looks nice, and if you wanted to, you could knock out the wall between the kitchen and the dining room, and then I think you could probably actually make that space more usable, but I don't really feel like you need to, especially if you want the Sims to eat in the dining room, because, you know, the island's there, they'll just eat in the island. Let's see, what am I doing now? Oh yeah, I'm just like trying to get this floor plan figured out, because nothing was working how I wanted. I really liked how the arch looked by the toilet, and so I decided to do one an entryway as well, and I think that really helped it look more finished. So, you know, you have your little guardian knight dude. Don't forget to save. I do try to cut out whenever I save, but I guess I missed that one. And then I put another little nook right there. You know, I was trying to not waste that precious space since this house is so very tiny and small. That's sarcasm, obviously. Again, I'm back with that fireplace. I really wanted the fireplace. And you know where I ended up putting it? In the living room. The most logical place to have a fireplace. Not weirdly in the kitchen, not weirdly in the dining room, just, you know, in the living room like normal. And then I realized that I could actually move the stairs back and it would make the shape of the living room, like it would take out a little bit of space in the living room, but I thought it made the shape look nicer and was easier to work with. And because I did that, I was able to put the coat closet under the staircase because I have high like wall height here. So it ended up just giving me a lot more room for that entry area. Here I am messing around again with the dining room. I still wasn't quite satisfied with how it looked. It was looking unbalanced to me, and I really wanted it to be a nice room that if someone walked into it, they're like, yeah, I'm in a castle, you know? And so I kind of messed around trying to put like an extra seating area there, but it was looking uneven, and then I tried to like put two side ones and it looked really weird. So in the end I think I ended up changing it again, but it's pretty similar to that. I was thinking about putting an office nook right in there, but I thought it would be a little bit weird to try to be at the office while the kitchen was right there. It just didn't make enough sense. I thought about trying to move the bathroom, but doing that was messing up the columns. I didn't want to have to replace them, so I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it. The thing is, that window right there has like a gorgeous view out over the river. So then I thought maybe I could put like a little seating area, and I realized I could have my breakfast nook after all by having just like a little 2-person or a little 4-person table. I thought 2 at first, but I realized I could fit 4, so like, why not? So that's the breakfast nook. That's like the casual eating area. I decided to add in a toddler chair too, just because I had space, and I thought, why not? You know, if you want to play with a toddler, you'll be all set. I got that amazing big TV that never really fits or looks right anywhere, but it was so cool in this room because it like curved with the room. I feel like now's a good time to mention that I unfortunately had part of my filming cut off. It's not too bad. I have screenshots at the end so you can see how everything turned out, because basically after it inadvertently cut out, I made a few more minor changes and just did more like decorating. So you didn't really miss too much. But at this point, I was trying to get the living room to look right. I really ended up liking the furniture that came with University. I thought about trying to add that cats and dogs bench, but the colors just looked weird, so I got rid of it again. You know, I don't know if you ever tried to furnish a room in this shape before, but it was very challenging. Like, I would have loved to have window seats, but the ones they have in the game just didn't really fit with my windows, so I couldn't do that. And I didn't want to block any doors, so I couldn't really move. I was a little bit limited with where I could place things. I ended up adding that chess table kind of to fill in that little awkward section, and I think it did a good job. One of the things that really got cut out was me messing around with rugs and trying to find rugs for all the rooms, so it was such a struggle. It took a really long time, so probably a blessing in disguise, actually, that I didn't even record it. There's the final shape of the dining room. That really, really helped, just because it made, I thought it made everything look more balanced, because it was. The room shape became symmetrical. Yep, here I am, still getting that little dressing area ready. I guess it's not a dressing area, but like the place where you have your mirror and you do your hair, you know, don't want to be windblown. But we're coming to the end here, so if you guys are enjoying this and you want to see how the rest of the castle turns out, go ahead and hit subscribe and ring that bell so you'll know when I make my next video. And if you like this one, go ahead and give me a like. Here's the screenshots, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye!